Item 336, request of David Kiff Davis to address council regarding child sex trafficking, child pornography in Portland.
Davis? Morning.
Good morning. How's it going?
Yeah.
I'd like to start off with a quote from Dante: "The hottest places in hell are reserved for those who in great moral crisis preserve their neutrality." And I'd like to say I'm a producer for Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com for the Ed Opperman Report, which goes out to over 300,000 people worldwide, and I'm an investigative journalist. And I've filmed a lot of the police and police misconduct over the year, including them making monkey sounds at black people, which the Willamette Week and the Portland Mercury and other newspapers chose to ignore. Well, I was made homeless after being illegally evicted by the police in October of 2012 after fabricated this story, and then the police came and illegally evicted me, and I was made homeless in 15 minutes. And that was in October in 2012. And what happened was this guy was watching pornography with his 11-year-old daughter, stepdaughter, and his former roommate had told me about that, and I confronted him about that, and so he made up a story. He comes from a family of police, and his wife works for PERS, the Police Retirement Fund. Well, that was in October in 2012. Later, in September 2013, charged with 57 counts of sex abuse, rape, and other crimes against her. Okay? So, I'm just wondering, you guys house a lot of sex offenders and child molesters in this town through all your little programs. I'm wondering if I can get some housing since I was made homeless because of the police protecting a child molester so he could do his thing, you know? And I've uncovered sex offenders in this town and went to their house because I knew they were housing street children and doing stuff to them, made a scene outside of their house, and then I'm told to leave by the police or I'll be charged with harassment. And Portland's got a long history of stuff like Baloney Joe's. This guy, Michael Stoop, you know, he was charged with all these sex crimes against kids at the homeless shelter that he ran, Baloney Joe's. Well, now he's been promoted to the National Coalition for Homeless after having sex with street kids in Portland. There was 5,200 downloads of child pornography at the Pentagon. And these are people that have the nuclear launch codes and stuff like that, you know? And that's top NSA, CIA, DOD, top brass people with the nuclear launch codes.
All right.
And I'm just wondering what's gonna happen.
Thanks for coming. There are actually some
you guys
folks
are actually gonna start doing something about this, because I see multiple cops show up at a bar fight because two drunken goons blacking each other's eye, but I don't see like tons of cops at the mall going after all the sexual predators and pimps and stuff. And this book right here, the Franklin Cover-Up, this goes to the deepest levels of government. You can check out a thing on YouTube that was banned. It was a BBC documentary called Conspiracy of Silence. Well, this guy who was involved with this, Rusty Nelson, aka Russell Nelson, he's on the top sex offenders list in Portland. He was busted here with a bunch of porn, and he's part of the Iran-Contra network and all that stuff. So, you know, this town's been infiltrated by people like this, and I'm just wondering what you guys are actually going to do about stuff like this. And maybe if I'm actually going to get a house or housing out of this deal, because, you know, I've seen multiple sex offenders, and I can even name some off.
Don't do that.
that have been helped by your housing agencies.
Right.
And I'm,
Well,
Yeah.
thank you for coming this morning. And there are actually some people in the room who are good at assisting people for getting into housing that need it. So I hope maybe you'll have a chance to talk with
I
some of
signed
them.
up for some, and
Okay.
I'm hoping whatever
Okay, good luck. Thank you.
happens.
All right.
All right, Mike,
Okay, and
afterthoughts?
did Jeff
Give us
Moore
some
come?
additional
Jeff Moore arrive?
information here.
Well, I think it's very interesting that Keith alleges that this quote-unquote known pedophile, has ties to the Portland Police Bureau. And one thing that I would like to say is the Oregon Constitution, if you're watching this from somewhere else in the country, the Oregon Constitution has even more rights of protection of free speech and freedom of expression. And literally what censorship means, a lot of people don't understand censorship. If YouTube censors your video, you've already entered into a contract with them, their terms of use, and it's a violation of terms of use, and they can censor you. Private corporation can, and legally get away with it. Government, using government funds the way they censored this man, is a clear violation of the U.S. Constitution and the Oregon State Constitution, and it's an egregious breach of law. You know, this country is founded on transparency, and the media is supposed to be the fourth branch of government, to keep government in check, to question the empire. And that's why the First Amendment is the only profession, journalism is the only profession in our laws, in our Bill of Rights, in the very First Amendment that's mentioned as being protected. You know, because of stuff like this needing to come out, information like this needs to come out. We need to question our government. We need to question our city officials, our state officials, and our federal officials, and and to see where the information leads. And I think this kind of stuff is scary, and it sets a precedence to normalize censoring people's dissent.
And normally they don't do that. They don't just mute the name. That's what you were saying earlier.
Right. They muted the name of the individual that Keith alleges that had something to do with committing multiple sex crimes, and I feel that probably it has to do with the fact that it had something to do with Portland Police Bureau. And I've gone to hundreds of these things.
The consent calendar, I don't believe we had.
I've never seen it censored. Okay. Portland's laws are so...
And they've had some pretty controversial stuff discussed at City Council over the years.
They have. And I just find this egregious, and more needs to be looked into. I'm also interested in researching this Baloney Joe's character that Keith alleges that was promoted to the National Coalition on Homelessness. I want to look that up and vet that information, and there'll probably be another video to come that we can discuss that about.
So if anybody watching this video has any additional information, leave it down below in the comment section and we'll check it out.
Sure, bye.